there is something which is very interesting. You recall when you took power and the NRA went to northern Uganda, the first killing by an NRA officer, the first killing was in Adilang. You remember Moses Byaruhanga, the one who went drinking and shot a woman, Juliana Ataro. We are told, Your Excellency, that you were so incensed, you wanted Byaruhanga to be tried in Adilang, and if he was convicted, he should be killed by a firing squad. And by your own account, Chief Justice Wambuzi said, Your Excellency, you're not now a guerrilla leader, you're now a national leader, you're the president of Uganda. So you're now governed by the laws of Uganda. We will try him not the way you want. Because you're so angry that a soldier could kill a civilian. For you, that one had crossed the red line long before. Why am I bringing this? The trial judge for Moses Byaruhanga was Lady Justice Kikonyogo, High Court judge, who was seated somewhere that side. The DPP of the time is the late Amos Museveni, who rose to be a judge and one with sterling performance. And the cruel hand of death took him when he was headed for the Supreme Court. Now, the defense lawyer for Moses Byaruhanga was somebody who comes not far away from Adilang, who went to defend him on state brief. Now, that person, Your Excellency, is now the Chief Justice of Uganda. So, I remember this. Of course, he was convicted. He was given 8 years. The thing was reduced from murder to manslaughter. And you made unfailing engagement with the judiciary of Uganda. You have religiously attended our functions, not just the Benedicto Kiwanuka function, our judges' annual conference, our new law year, and I know you've written to me promising to attend the incoming meetings of women judges which will be hosted by Uganda. Your Excellency, I see this as testimony of your appreciation of the place the judiciary of Uganda holds in the scheme of things in this country. Your commitment to the judiciary, your special attention to the judiciary, is the reason why, following, I stood here on this ground, probably on the very spot where I'm standing here, and made the case for an enhancement of the budget of the judiciary. All these other things are pegged on a meaningful judiciary budget. And you gave your word, and in one financial year alone, our budget leapt twice. It was doubled and came to 375 or thereabout billion Uganda shillings. I'll report here what we have done with that money, Your Excellency. Yeah. So, we are working on enhancing access to justice services across Uganda. We hope to achieve this through concentrating on a few key areas against the backdrop of enhanced judiciary budget. We have continued or commenced construction of courts of judicature, recruitment and deployment of more judicial officers and non-judicial officers, and providing working tools to the staff. Establishing more courts across the country in order to eliminate case backlog and to bring justice services nearest to the people. Strengthening the Judicial Training Institute to offer up-to-date capacity building. Reinforcing the Inspectorate of Courts, promoting innovations, ICT, etc., etc. Your Excellency, with the enhanced budget, which of course, as you know, is nowhere near what we want, but It has made a lot of difference. Before the judiciary budget was enhanced, the little that the judiciary of Uganda received, we had only 42 chief magistrates. One chief magistrate would serve 5 other chief magisterial areas. So they would spend more time on the road than sitting in court. And in the end, they were making no impact. And there was justified outcry about delay of cases and so on and so forth. But because of the enhanced budget, today as I speak, we have 77 chief magistrates in this country. An upward movement from 42. Of course, as you know, Your Excellency, our desire is to have a chief magistrate in every district. That would be about 150 plus chief magistrates. If you take that in the cities, there would have to be a chief magistrate in every division. Your Excellency, in Ghana, they have the equivalent of chief magistrate, but they call them circuit judges. But they're really the equivalent of chief magistrate in Uganda. They have them in every district. They're not only hoping to get in every district. Every district in Ghana has got what they call circuit judges, but these are really chief magistrates. And then they have high court judges and the other ones. If we are aware, we are not unreasonable people. We are aware that the judiciary demand is done against competing demands from other areas. But we believe that a little bit more can be done. We really believe that a little bit more can be done so that we can continue with our transformation agenda. But because we had an increment in the number of chief magistrates, we were able to operationalize 16 magisterial areas. Your Excellency, 16 magisterial areas so big. Those fellows as chief magistrates, they are very powerful in terms of the areas they operate in. And to have an addition of 16 magisterial areas in one financial year is a big gain for the judiciary and for the people of Uganda. Now, before our judiciary budget was enhanced, we had the foot soldiers, the magistrates grade 1. We had just 186. These are the people who the ordinary man will have to interface with when they seek justice. There were just 186 in a population of 42 million people. But because of the enhanced budget, we leapt from 186 to 301 magistrates. This again had no prior equal. That in one financial year, there's this formidable change in the numbers. And because of this, so many new courts. There are places where people have never seen a court. Your Excellency, if you want to understand, you know the geography and the physical ground here. Atanga, you know very well, is between Gulu and Kitgum. The leadership of the town council approached me as Chief Justice and said, we are prepared to abandon, to evacuate our administrative block. And it's really a good building. Bring us a magistrate. We will look elsewhere to do our other ordinary magistrates. Gulu is over 70 kilometers, same with Kitgum. So I called the bluff and sent a magistrate. And indeed, effortlessly, they left the administrative complex for the judiciary of Uganda. And the judiciary of Uganda has got this house until we put up something for ourselves. Given that tells us a lot about the desire of our people to have access to justice, to have a court of law within reach. Now, because we increased the number of magistrate grade 1 from 186 to 301. The immediate impact, which I can report here, Your Excellency, that before the increment, excuse me, before the increment in the magistrate grade 1 areas, there was a total of 4,894 backlog cases. Now, backlog cases are cases which have stayed more than 2 years in a court. We call them backlog. We say they have delayed. Of course, I have a quarrel with that. Why must it be 2 years? A case should delay if it has taken more than 6 months, then it has delayed. And that's what we should be striving for. So, this has been reduced from 4,000 to 2,000 because of the increase in the number of grade 1 magistrates. And we are still going to recruit more, so that, as we say, every political constituency, the county constituencies, must have a magistrate grade 1. I would be very happy, excuse me, I would be very happy if you come here at some point and I report to you that I was very angry with the magistrate grade 1 in Kalangala because a case took more than 9 months before him. I would be very happy and to report that I'm really angry with this officer. We can do this if we improve on our budget and we recruit more judicial officers. Recently appointed 16 judges, and because of this, we were able to expand our catchment area. We operationalized or opened new circuits for the first time. Karamoja has a high court now, Your Excellency, served by a judge. They don't have to rely on Soroti anymore. They have a judge which takes care of Karamoja sub-region. We have opened a high court in Tororo, in Iganga, in Luwero here. The people of Luwero and Nakasongo had to come to Kampala because they didn't have a high court. Now we have taken justice to them, the people of Hoima and Rukungiri. Your Excellency, we intend to recruit 10 High Court judges, 10 High Court judges we intend to recruit 10 more High Court judges this financial year. And when we do this, we intend to open new court circuits, High Court circuits, one in Nebi, one in Bushenye, one in Kasese, one in Kamuli, one in Kitgum, one in Liantonde, and one in Apache, this financial year before June 30th of next calendar year, to enable our people access justice. Now, let me put this case to you, Your Excellency. Let me begin by admitting, as I said, that we are aware we are competing with other demands in the country for the limited resources we have. But let me also say this, that if we put our priority, if we understand the role of the judiciary better, and we can have a test case, so that at the end of next year you come and challenge me here, that what did you do with that money which you said you make good use of. The commercial division of the High Court, which has about 6 judges, has about 4 trillion shillings just locked up in that court. If in addition to the 10 judges which the budget of this financial year allows me to recruit, you found money for me to recruit 10 more judges, I would deploy 5 to the commercial division alone and deploy the other 5 to the land division. These are areas where resources are being locked up because we're not doing the right thing. If I could have a minimum of 10 judges in each of these 2 divisions, of course I would have wanted more. I would have been happy with 15 in each of these divisions. I would release within 12 calendar months all these trillions of shillings that will make a monumental impact on the economy of Uganda. They're just being wasted there. They're locked up, they're rusting, they're gathering dust. The money is gathering dust in those two divisions. So much land that can be put into economic use is lying there. There is this notorious thing called an order of injunction, temporary injunction, that since you're disputing over this land, nobody should use it because you're going to fight and cut each other with fingers. So much land is lying idle because we lack the capacity to utilize this land, because we lack the capacity to render justice as immediately as we should have done. So my plea is, if we can find money for 10 more judges on top of the ones that are provided for in this budget, for the commercial division and for the land division, the people of Uganda would immediately notice the difference. Benedicto Kiwanuka was a man of indomitable willpower. He was a principled man, and many times we tend to forget, I think Honorable Mao, who sits in the seat where Benedicto Kiwanuka once sat as president of the Democratic Party, mentioned. His being principled was not as a judicial officer only. It was not accidental. It was not determined by the occasion or the nature of the employment as a judicial officer, protected by the Constitution as an independent person. Even as a young politician, the fellows who gave us independence, he was principled enough to stand up and say the Democratic Party is a national party. And what the Uganda People's Congress did, he could have done it. I don't know what our history would have been today. But he was principled enough to say, no, Uganda is a nation, I stand for the national party. And as the Honorable Mao said, it angered Mengo, although apparently he made peace with Mengo later. So by nature, he was a principled person. He was a person who was prepared to lose all to achieve what was right in the eye of God and in the eye of man. Benedicto Kiwanuka was the first Ugandan to serve as Chief Justice. He was the second African to serve as Chief Justice in Uganda here, after Udo Udoma from Eastern Nigeria. What Benedicto Kiwanuka has been described to have been was his trademark sense of righteousness and commitment to the straight ways of justice. And it is this that put him at loggerheads with President Idi Amin. Whatever account that have been given by eyewitnesses, by the government of the day, the circumstantial evidence is compelling. It is unmistakable that Idi Amin took the life of Chief Justice Benedicto Kiwanuka. The person who took oath to protect the life and properties of Ugandans took the life of one of the persons he took oath to protect. In law, Your Excellency, we say circumstantial must be so good as not to be mistaken or controverted. But we also have a saying that many times circumstantial evidence can prove a case with mathematical precision. And the case of Chief Justice Kiwanuka is one of those proof by circumstantial evidence as to who were responsible for his demise. He was martyred for his unflinching advocacy against arbitrary arrest, extrajudicial killings, torture, and the utter disregard for the rule of law that painfully characterized the infamous government of Idi Amin in the 1970s. As the judiciary family, we acknowledge the noble role Kiwanuka played in the promotion of the observance of the rule of law and respect for human rights, for which he paid the ultimate price. We are called upon to mirror the life of the indomitable Benedicto Kiwanuka and ask ourselves what we have so far done and what else we can do for our people. Our reminiscent theme this year is Benedicto Kiwanuka Reflections on the Independence of the Judiciary in Modern Times. The martyrdom of Ben Kiwanuka was a consequence of his determination to assert the judicial independence in the face of the chief executive, who had no regard whatsoever for the rule of law. Now, judicial independence will also be guaranteed through, among other things, appointing suitable and qualified persons into judicial positions, ensuring judicial officers enjoy security of tenure, willingness to respect and enforce court decisions regardless of who is affected by the decisions, and making the courts accessible to the common man seeking for justice. That is the issue of access to justice, which is the main force propelling our agenda under my administration. When you retire to your farm in Rakitura, they will say former president. But for us, when they read my judgment, they will say Owiny-Dollo Chief Justice. Or Owiny-Dollo Judge, as he then was. These are the small things, perks, which we enjoy. You know, it's not much, but... Chief Justice Benjamin Odoke has never winned, my lord, let me say this, he has never winned himself, and that's how it should be, of the judiciary of Uganda. He is a Ugandan judicial officer par excellence. I always hate to talk about people when they are there because it looks like I'm flattering, but I can't avoid. We don't take this for granted. My lord, we appreciate. We know your contribution to the law, the development of the law in this country, in various capacities, as a teacher, as a head of prosecution, as a judge, with leading judgments in this country. In one sentence, he's a jurist par excellence. So we welcome you. This is your home. This is not your former home. This is your home. And that's why I find it objectionable to refer to you as former Chief Justice. To me, you are my Chief Justice. Now, to the recipients of the Benedicto Kiwanuka Award today, Your Excellency, let me say one or two things about each of the recipients. Lady Justice Letitia Mokasaki Konyogo, who left service at the position of Deputy Chief Justice